Good evening, everyone. No matter where you're coming from in the world, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Naomi Empowers Show. I want to thank everyone if you're watching this live, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, or if you're watching this on the replay on either of the two platforms. Thank you so much for deciding to spend some of your time with us this evening. Guys, before we get into, or before I introduce my guest, rather, I want to say that I had a birthday in the last couple of days, and I'm a little bit upset because I was supposed to be in the land of gold for my birthday. That's right. I was supposed to be in Ghana, but due to current circumstances and the pandemic that we have going on in this world, unfortunately, I was not able to make the trip. So I'm representing today, and I'm going to be bringing a little bit of Ghana right here to the UK. But again, once again, whether you're watching live on the replay, thank you so much for joining us. And I do really hope that your time with us, you'll feel that it's well spent. We are going to be bringing you inspiration, empowerment, words of wisdom, and really things to just help you, give you that dose of that energy and enthusiasm that you're going to need for the week ahead. So the Naomi Empowers Show happens every Sunday at 8 p.m. BST. So here in the UK, it's the evening time for us. If you're maybe in the States, on the East Coast, 3 p.m. and on the West Coast at midday. So I've got a very special guest that I'm going to be inviting to join us any second. I see she's here and she's waiting. If you've seen my post earlier, you will know that the lady that I'm about to introduce, we go way back. And in fact, it was last night that I realized how far back we actually do go. So it is my pleasure to be able to introduce my good friend, Serena. Serena, welcome to the Naomi Empower Show.
Hello, thank you.
You're most welcome. All right, guys, before we go any further, if you're watching us on Facebook, I'm going to ask that you go ahead and press that share button at the bottom of this broadcast. I think it's to the right-hand side, if I'm correct. Go ahead and press share. We want to make sure that as many people get to enjoy this that we're going to be sharing with you all this evening. Last week, our show had just under 2,000 viewers by the time the week had ended and got to this point. So, from the feedback that we've had, I know that people really did enjoy. Who we got on right now? We got Melanie. Hey, Melanie, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you being here with us today. Guys, that is another thing. Please make sure that you get involved in the conversation too. Leave your questions for Serena, leave your comments. We want to get you involved in the conversation as well. All right, let's get straight into this. Where are my manners, Serena? Gosh, how are you? How are you doing?
Do you know what? I'm okay, and I'm not okay. If that makes sense. I think that I'm good. I'm with my family. I'm safe. I'm well. But this week has been tough. It's been tough, if I'm honest. There's a lot going on, a lot that we've been seeing happening in the States, and it's affected all of us in a different way. And I think, I think it's important to talk about how you feel. You can't just sort of brush it to the back. And I also just think it just reminds us how much work we still need to do, how much more we need to come together, how much more we need to support each other. So. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm not okay, but I'm here, and I think that's a lot of people, to be honest. With friends and family that I've spoken to this week, but we've just got to keep on encouraging each other, keep on talking, and trying to stay positive and just affect positive change.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You're so right. And for those of you watching at home or wherever you may be, please also let us know how are you all feeling about some of the things that we've seen over the past week or so. Shay's agreeing, same, Serena. She's feeling all right, but not all right. For those of you, and I shared this with you, Serena, for those of you who watched last week, you would have seen my eyes were like, my eyes were so small because I was tired. I was tired because, like a crazy person, I decided with my two children asleep to stay up all night watching a clash with Beanie Man and Bounty Killer. And so by the time the show came round, I needed matchsticks to keep my eyes open. It was bad. Like I was tired.
No.
And you know what, Serena? This week I'm a different kind of tired. I feel like I'm emotionally drained.
Yeah.
And for those of you who have absolutely no idea what it is that we're talking about right now, I think people all over the world literally are mourning. We are grieving. And we're feeling a collective sort of pain. And do you know what? As I'm saying this now, look, I'm getting goosebumps all over my body. I don't want to even stay on this too long, but I think it's important that we, as you're saying, we share how it is that we are feeling. And my heart is heavy as a Black woman, as a mother of a Black son, with a Black father. It hurts. It hurts. We witnessed. I don't even want to get into it. I'm really trying to do it. I'm not trying to make my makeup run, but we witnessed something tragic. Like I personally didn't watch the video. I haven't brought myself to do that, and I choose not to because I know how the story ends. But we saw a Black man falsely accused and arrested and subjected to the most inhumane treatment. And it was filmed for social media has seen it all. And he lost his life. Just a senseless murder. It was terrible. And so, I'm while I'm hurting, I can't even begin to imagine the pain that those closest to him are actually feeling, his family. So our prayers and go out to those people who are feeling the pain in a way that probably we never will be able to, but we stand in solidarity. Those who are saying enough is enough.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got, who else have we got on here? We've got Renita. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hey there, thank you so much for joining us. But you know what? Let's get right into the topic for today's discussion. Serena, before we go on, please introduce yourself, because all I really told everyone is that we go way back. But no, we want to know a little bit more about you. Who are you? Tell us who you are. Tell us what you do. We really want to know.
Okay, so my name's Serena Nwokoye. I am the founder, CEO, director of Detangled Hair, which is a online, I'd say online community. It's a shop, but you can also get good information about natural hair care, skin care. We've got stuff for male grooming as well.
Let me just interrupt you. I'm so sorry. Everyone watching, please tell me, does her hair not look fabulous? I know she's going to hate me for doing this.
And I got it out for you, Naomi, because I don't normally wear my hair out, but I was like,
I know, her hair's always put away, but her hair is so beautiful. And I think it's so I had to acknowledge.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, because I'm big on protective styling, but I thought, okay, I'm on the Naomi show, so like I need to come to your level, Naomi.
My level, listen, my corona hair's put away underneath this. Look, even my mum, next time my mum agreed. Fab.
Oh, thank you. So as well as being an entrepreneur, I'm also a mum to 2 young children. I've got a little boy who's 4. I've got a little girl who's almost 2. And I'm also, for the last 15 years, I'm a professionally qualified youth worker. So I have a big passion for working with young people, empowering young people. And that's kind of a little snippet of who I am and what I do.
All right. Well, thank you. Now, Serena has literally given you a little snippet. As I said, Serena and I go way back, and we have a rich history. We've done so much together over the years. But I think the one that I'm going to pick on to highlight right now is that we actually used to sing together. And I promised Serena I would not ask her to sing, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to, because I definitely wouldn't be doing that. Oh, we got a question come in. We got a question from Shay. Can you see that, Serena?
Why don't you wear your hair out? Oh, okay. Oh, thank you very much. I'm just a big on protective styling, because I think that's what helps me to retain length and make sure that I can moisturize easy. And because I've got 2 young kids, I just don't have the time to do it.
I can relate.
Yeah, so that's why. But you know, it comes out every now and again. But thank you. Yeah, I had to do it for Naomi. And Naomi, sorry, happy birthday. Because Naomi has the same birthday as my son.
I do.
Yeah. So, you know, some of the best people are born in May, I have to say
Exactly.
that.
Thank you. And some of the best people are even born on May 28th. Me and Serena's son included.
Yeah.
All right. So Serena's given us a snippet of who she is. But as I said, Serena and I used to actually sing together in a group. We sang together in a gospel group called Inspired, and it was a six-piece, all ladies, ladies, and we sang together. We did that for quite a few years, didn't we?
Yeah.
Serena also writes the most beautiful songs as well. I can see her inside just screaming on Naomi, shut up. No, and I'll tell you the reason why I won't. The reason why I won't is because I really do feel passionately about supporting our own, about creating platforms for us and for our community, and helping to elevate one another so that we can rise to higher heights. And I believe that we do that collectively, by empowering one another, by inspiring one another. Oh, the group was called Inspired, by the way. By speaking words of life into one another. So Serena, you know, Serena and I don't really have this relationship where we're all kind of all lovey-dovey.
No.
That's just not us. But you know what? I will say publicly, Serena, that, you know, I really am grateful for your friendship over the past.
Don't really cry, Naomi, please. I already told you I'm emotional.
No, I've got to say it, because here's the thing. Too many of us wait until funerals or when the people aren't actually around to hear what's being said, to let them know what we feel about them, when it's not really worth much. Then I believe in telling people while they are still alive to hear it. And so, Serena, I do appreciate you. Serena has actually known me most of my life. I think, when did I meet Serena? I met Serena maybe when I was 13 or
teenager, early teens.
And I'm 33 now, so it's been a long time. We have a very cheeky comment that's just come in. Shay, no. Absolutely not.
No.
Again, you know, thank you so much for gracing us with some of your time this evening. Again, I know how it is being a mum. You've got 2 children. So guys, apologies in advance if we have little ones bursting in any minute. Listen, this is the life. This is what we deal with. This is the reality of our situation, and we love our babies. Change them. I can't speak for Serena, but you know, mine, they can definitely drive me mad sometimes.
Yes, I can relate.
But you know, wouldn't change them for the world. So you know, it's nice to share and to talk as mothers in business. So thank you so much for your time. Serena, I really want to know, and the point of this show is really about creating a repository of collective wisdom. I believe that there is great value in us sharing our most valuable life lessons as we go along this journey that we call life. I believe that we should do that intentionally, so that those who may be on a similar path to us, or those who perhaps may one day join our path, can to look back, and you know, don't have to go and make all of their own mistakes. I don't have the time nor the desire to make all my own mistakes. But Serena, do you know what? If you're a few steps ahead of me and you can tell me something that you learned that has really helped you get to the next level, then maybe I can apply it to my life and also excel. I think it's also important that we have that shared wisdom within our community, and be very intentional with that as well. We're living in crazy times, as we're seeing. You know, I've had to try to avoid social media, and I'm sure you've been doing the same. Because it's getting too much. There's so much negativity. There's death. There's bad news. Like, we're bombarded from all sides. So this show is really about helping to it's not changing the narrative, because there is a narrative. That narrative needs to be spoken. We need to hear it. But I think it can also be balanced with encouragement, with wisdom, with things that can edify us and build us up, and not just have us so emotionally charged that we go out and we do things that maybe are reckless or, you know, harming ourselves or others. So, Serena, tell me, what would you say is the most valuable lesson that you've learned when it comes to life? This is not something that I want you necessarily to limit to motherhood or to business. Simply because we're going to have people watching this who aren't mothers, who aren't in business, have no desire to. But I believe that each of us has a story, and I believe that there's value in our stories, and I know there's value in your story. So I want you to let us know, let the people know, what is the most valuable life lesson that you've learned on this journey?
Yeah. So I wanted to speak about, because obviously we had this discussion a little while ago, and I was thinking, and for me, my life lesson that I'm still definitely learning is about being authentically myself, embracing who I am, the skills, the talents that God has given me, and being unapologetic about that. You know, and like I said, it's still something that I'm developing, because, you know, development is a lifelong journey. I don't feel like you're ever the finished product. I just think, you know, you get better, you become better versions of yourself. But I think one thing with me is learning to just be myself, not worry so much about what people think, and what I have, and just go with it. You know, I've had it beaten out of me a few times, and I've had to sort of build myself back up. But I found, you know, in recent years, when I sort of trust myself, go with who I am, what I believe, my creativity, and not apologize for it, that's when I get the best results. That's when I connect with people on, you know, such a wonderful level, and being myself, you know, and it's something I think it can be difficult to achieve, because oftentimes we're told how to be and we're trying to model other people. So, you know, it's something, like I said, it's a process, but I feel like when I'm most myself, when I connect with myself, and when I let myself just fly, that's when I'm achieving. That's when I'm doing my best work. That's when I'm most proud of myself. And that's when I inspire others as well. So I think, you know, just being authentically and unapologetically myself is my life lesson that I'm growing in every day, and I want to encourage other people to do.
That's a really, really powerful lesson, in my opinion, because I've been on a similar journey myself. So I think I can relate to you in more ways than one. But I really want to kind of dig deeper into that, if you don't mind. And you know me, I've got lots of questions about that. The fact that you say you're on a journey to be unapologetically and authentically yourself suggests to me, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, that situations or circumstances in your life perhaps have made you think that your authentic self was not enough. Or maybe not enough. Maybe I don't know, maybe as yourself, you didn't quite fit a certain mold, perhaps. And I want to just explore that. Where did it come from? You say you're growing into it, so you haven't fully arrived yet. I really want to maybe go back to not even the beginning of your journey, before you began on that journey. Tell us how you got to that point.
So if I think back to, when I was at school, in fact, let me say this first. It's funny because when I was younger, I was quite comfortable as myself in my skin, and I'm very, I think it's just the way that God's created me. I'm very self-aware. I'm very reflective. So from a young age, I was always thinking about things, always questioning things, always thinking, why do I think that? From a very young age. When I was at school, I did sociology for GCSE. And that, to me, I loved it, because I love asking questions. I love debating. I was confident. I was one of the top in the class. You know, I got one of the highest grades in the class, and I was okay with that. That I was comfortable knowing that I liked to question. I was confident, And that was me, and I accepted that. When I was let me say, when I was a teenager at church, there was a couple of things that started to like plant a little seeds of doubt in my mind. Like I remember we used to have like Bible studies and things would come around. And because my character is such that I love to ask questions, I love to know things, I love to debate.
Yeah.
I was always the one like, oh, I've got a question. Does anyone want? Oh, me. And because I'm polite as well, I'd always have my hand like halfway up, so like this. Now, some of the other young people in the group used to laugh at me and be like, "Oh, look at Thunderbird." Now, for those that don't know what Thunderbird is, I see your face.
I hadn't heard that one. Oh no! Break it down for people who are baffled right now.
Yeah, I'm going to explain. So way back before we had all these cartoons and things, there was this like children's show called Thunderbird, and it was puppets, and they used to walk around like that. Yeah,
Thunderbirds, go.
Exactly. Yeah. So they used to walk around like that with their hands sort of like that. So because my hand was always like that, I think that's why they call me. And it was obviously they meant it as a joke, and I laughed along, but that hit me deep because it was like they were aware that I was asking questions and be like, "Oh, has Thunderbird got anything to say? Oh, Thunderbird." And then it put in my mind, maybe I shouldn't be asking so many questions. Maybe people don't like that, but that is me.
Yeah.
But then I was feeling the pressure of not wanting to be made fun of, so maybe I need to dull my light a little bit. And so I retracted. So I wasn't, I was always the person, if somebody said like, who wants to volunteer to lead this, or I'd be like, oh, I don't mind doing it, because that was my character. I've got leadership skills, and not that I really understood that I had them, but I was always comfortable leading.
Yeah.
But people don't like that. People don't like when you're confident. People don't like that. And so they'd make...
Why? Let me stop you. Let me just stop you. Why do you think that is? I'm interested to, and for those of you watching as well, if you agree with the sentiments that Serena's sharing right now, let us know. Why do you think it is that people perhaps don't like when you're sure of yourself, when you're confident? Why is it that they maybe feel somewhat intimidated? Just let us know in the comments if you have any ideas as to why people are like that. Serena, but I'm also interested in getting your opinion. Why do you think people felt uncomfortable with you being that person who would put their hand up and say, yeah, me, I'll do it, I'll give it a go?
I would guess maybe a bit of insecurity. Maybe sometimes people want to do it, but they're not confident enough to do it. And so when they see you doing things, it builds a bit of resentment. So it's a conversation that they need to have with themselves. But lack of maturity, I guess, wouldn't allow that at that age. But like I said, from a young age, I was always very thoughtful, very deep thinking, very, I was always searching and wanting to know more. So I think that helped me to be confident without me realizing. But
let me just give, we've got a comment from Melanie to answer the question. She says, I think it's because they wish they could be as brave. I don't know. What do you think about that, Serena?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. I think growing up as a teenager, you have so many insecurities anyway. And I guess maybe when people are confident, maybe you want to. I don't always think it's a conscious thought. I don't necessarily think they thought, oh, we don't like Serena. I think it's more because they were my friends, and I would laugh along. I don't think, and working with teenagers, or I've done that for like over 15 years. It's not always conscious thoughts. It's things that come in because you're trying to grow into yourself. But I was kind of a few steps ahead because that's just how I am. But it bothered me because I don't like, as well as being curious and wanting to know things, I'm also very shy as well. It's I'm kind of a contradiction in some ways. But then if I feel like people are not liking me or I shouldn't open my mouth, I just closed it because I thought, you know what, I don't want the hassle. I don't want people thinking badly of me. Let
me give another reason. Shay's just popped up and said a few reasons. It can be intimidation, jealousy, or feeling threatened subconsciously. On the flip side, ego and confidence can present as similar on the surface, but are most definitely different when you look deeper. Oh gosh, how eloquently put.
Thank you,
Thank you, Shay. And next time, you know what? I need to remember to bring my glasses because I am struggling out here.
I can help you. I can help you. But that was kind of like the start of me feeling embarrassed about being me, you know, having that inquisitive mind, being willing to step up, being willing to do things, and not feeling good enough. And I think also something that plays into it as well is I come from a single parent family. My mum had 4 of us. Money's tight. We don't always have, well, we never really had the best clothes or things like that. So I was always, you know, one of those kids with the no name brand trainers and all that. And I would get teased, like, because we lived on an estate, so we'd all get teased. And I think that fed into I'm not good enough as well. So I had that in my mind. And now you couple it with people like, oh, is Serena going to answer again? And you're like, oh, okay, you know, let me be quiet, you know. And then I remember one thing that really sort of knocked me and then had a domino effect was we were in the choir. Naomi was in the choir as well. Praise choir. To praise. And we were deciding on section heads, so people to lead the sections. And I remember turning to one of my friends and saying, oh, who do you think should be the section head? And she was like, not you. You already do too many things, you know, let somebody else. And it was very blunt the way she said it. And it cut me. I was like, oh, like I already thought I was being quiet and I was, you know, in the background, but obviously I wasn't. And so I just stopped. I stopped volunteering for things. I stopped, you know, I didn't put myself forward as much. And it really affected me because I think if you have an inquisitive mind, you have to exercise that. As I wasn't exercising it, as I wasn't really wanting to get into debates, ask questions, then I felt like my mind was going a bit flat. It affected me going into uni. I didn't get as much out of it as I wanted to. Like it had an effect. And I remember speaking to some people about it maybe last year, and they said, yeah, Serena, we noticed that. Like they actually noticed. And I didn't think anyone would notice. They said, yeah, we noticed you kind of became a bit more quiet. But we were all sort of in our late teens then, early 20s. I didn't think anybody noticed that. But it had this effect. And I didn't, how can I say this? I didn't get out of certain experiences. I like going to university, getting my first job and things, the things that I should have really enjoyed and cherished and learned a lot from. I didn't have that joy. I didn't experience that joy and that fulfillment because I just thought you need to be quiet. You don't want to look too smart. You don't want people not to like you. You know, you don't want people to think, oh, why is Serena doing this? Why is it Serena again? So let me just, you know, dull my light so that will appease other people. And that, you know, that really knocked me. And I think one of the turning points for me was I was in a job and my manager was a real bully, a real bully. And I wanted to get out and I didn't have the confidence to get out. And then I thought, you know what? I need to get a mentor.
Okay.
I want to mention her name, but I hope she won't kill me. Because I just love this woman so much. Anne Weeks, you know Anne. I asked her to mentor me. And that was a massive turning point because she challenged me in terms of who are you? I remember she said, okay, when you're going for interviews and things, what are you saying? What do you tell people you do? And I said, oh, I'm just a youth worker. And she was like, what do you mean you're just a youth worker? Tell me what you do. It was painful. It was uncomfortable. But then I began to talk about myself and she was like, that's what you do. That's a skill. And it was emotional as well. And I was like, oh, I remember when I was on my way home, I was like in tears because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm reconnecting with actually the skills that I kind of put to one side and I didn't want to acknowledge or embrace because I didn't want to annoy people. And then that was a big turning point for me to then start to build. I know I saw a comment. I don't know if you want to.
My mum just threw in my glasses for me. Thank you, mummy. She says, this makes me sad. Alethea, sorry. This makes me sad, Serena. So sorry you felt this way in a place that should have nurtured you.
Do you know what? Like I said, I don't think people necessarily had bad intent because we were so young. But I think it just teaches me, especially as someone working with young people, what I need to teach them in terms of we need to start building each other up from a young age. If you have a skill, if you have a natural skill or talent, embrace that and encourage each other, you know. But I think that having a mentor was a big turning point for me, because I began to see myself as I should.
Yeah, wow. That's
see that I have skills and see that, you know, it's okay. This is what I do. And I remember going to an interview and I got the jobs, you know, I had the interview and I was just saying, yeah, I do this, I do that, and I felt confident. And it was that turning point of embrace who you are, embrace what you do. These are God-given talents. You don't have to be apologetic about it. You know? And I think also another thing for me was being around people who were not apologetic. Being inspired was a big stretch. It was a massive stretch for me. Because part of me felt like I shouldn't even be there, because you guys were so confident. You know, you sang well, you had big personalities, you picked up the parts, and I'm just little old me like, oh, can you play that again? Like, what am I doing here? Quite on me. But I was there, and it wasn't anything you guys ever said to me. It was my own thinking. And I think what really helped is you just treated me like a member of the group. So even if I thought I shouldn't be there, you guys were showing me I should be there. You know, and things that I didn't think I would be able to do, learning parts, stage presence, all those things, it began that journey of building up. And it's funny because I remember when we went our separate ways, Olivia sent out an email, and she was like, what's the word? She was just.
For those who don't know, Olivia was one of the girls who's in the group. She's a soprano, and she's doing it, and she's still in music, doing absolutely phenomenal things in the industry. And she's going to be on the show as a guest one of these days soon. So yeah, we've got to say definitely a big up to Olivia.
Yes, and I have to shout out to Olivia, because she sent an email out to all of us, and it was just encouraging us. And I remember she was like, you know, Naomi, you're good at this, keep on doing this. And she said something to me, Serena, you've got good songwriting skills, you can sing well, more solos, more songwriting. And that like shocked me, because I was like, even though I was writing songs and I was singing, I didn't think I was a good singer. I mean, I still really don't think I'm a good singer, to be honest. I'm okay. But the year after that was when I had my first show that I did my songs in. So off the back of that, words are so powerful.
They are.
The back of that, you know, I'm trying not to get emotional.
Right. Authentically you.
And it was like, you know, oh gosh. But her saying that to me and knowing that she's a really good singer, you guys are all good singers. She doesn't, and I've never told her that, but it had an effect on me. And then it pushed me to think, you know what? Do your thing. So even though someone can say something negative to you and it can have a lasting effect, positive words can have an even bigger effect, you know. Little compliments, little things that you can give to people. You might see someone and think they look nice. Tell them if you think that. If you think they've done something well, if someone's given a speech, tell them. If you know, if they've written a poem, tell them, because that little boost could be what they need to push them to the next level. You know, and it's just that, again, like I said, that was the start of me sort of, I guess, being reborn, if you like, and realizing actually I've got good skills, I've got good talents, I need to own this. And another thing is I'm a big reader. I love to read.
Okay.
And so I started reading books about leadership. There's a book by, hang on, am I allowed to show it?
Absolutely, go for it.
This is one of my favorite books.
Oh, I've got that in my kitchen. I'm reading it as well.
You see. This book for me honestly did change my life, because like I said, I knew I had skills and talents, but I was always like apologetic about it. And then reading about the laws of leadership. So it's called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and it's by John C. Maxwell. And reading that just affirmed, like, you do have skills, you do have leadership skills, you do have things that are valuable, you are worthy, keep moving forward. And I think off the back of that, that has pushed me to do so many things, like starting a business. Who am I to start? Who am I? Entrepreneur, me, you know? I never even thought about that. It's only when I had children, I thought, no, I want to do something for myself. You know, and again, it's nerve-wracking because I'm shy. I have to go out there. I have to network. But having all these people feeding into me, having a mentor, being around people like you, Naomi, because I know when I speak to you, I'm always energized afterwards.
Oh, wow.
Always energized. And I think that helps you when you're around people who are unapologetically themselves, positive people that feed into you. That has given me, and that is giving me the strength to now own who I am and be who I am, and you know, not be apologetic about it. And I think that when you shine your light, it gives others the permission to shine theirs.
Absolutely. It's so true. You know something? My mum literally threw these glasses, literally threw these glasses at me, and it made me think about an analogy that kind of fits in with what you're speaking about. Oftentimes, for people who know me, you don't know, I'm as blind as a bat. Yeah, I should wear glasses all the time, but I really don't. And I've got some comments that have come through, and I'm going to get to those shortly. But you know what I find is, if I go for a long period of not wearing my glasses, like I haven't worn my glasses for months, and I kid you not, on my birthday, on my 33rd birthday, they appeared. It is a mystery. No one in this house is admitting that they knew where they were, but all of a sudden they've reappeared. Yeah, I've been looking for these things for months. And you see, when I put the glasses back on, they're a little bit dirty now, so it's not quite the same effect. But when I put the glasses back on, it's like, wow, everything is in HD. And what I was seeing is a blur before. That's how it felt. Yeah. I think that oftentimes we look at our own selves, or perhaps when I look in the mirror, and I'm speaking metaphorically here, I see myself like when I'm not wearing my glasses, it's a little bit hazy. I've got a warped perspective of who I am as a woman, as a mother, as an entrepreneur, you know, as a sister. I've got a warped perception of my own self. But then if I have a conversation with you, Serena, or like the email that Olivia gave sent you, or sent all of us, that's almost like having someone put these frames on you and be like, here, actually take a look through my eyes, look at yourself the way that I see you. And oftentimes we don't, especially for people who've been in situations where their self-esteem has been knocked, or they've been made to feel less than, we don't always have the tools required to view ourselves the way other people will view ourselves. We can minimize our own gifts, our own talents. We shrink in order to make other people feel comfortable because we think that's what they want, or we think that's what they need. But oftentimes we don't realize that when I try to put on a mask and show up as someone else, I'm nothing more than a cheap imitation, when really the best thing that I can do for you is show up as my authentic self. That's the very best that I can actually be. So I think there's a powerful lesson, another powerful lesson reinforced. The lesson that you shared is even reinforced by the knowledge that the way that we see ourselves can often be warped. Sometimes we need some frames, we need some lenses to help us see ourselves in the correct way, and in the way that other people see us. Because I think that what matters more than anything is what we do believe about ourselves. So if I go through life thinking that I'm not good enough, or that, oh, I've got no right to be singing in a group with Serena, or who am I to, and you know, I'm going to pull you up on this, Serena, about who am I to start a business? It is, who are you not to?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's when we have these thoughts and these feelings about ourselves, as you're saying, it robs us of so much. You talked about being robbed of some of the experiences, like you know, the joy that you should have had from uni, getting your first job. That was literally stolen from you by your own mind.
From my own mind.
And that's frightening. But the fact that you have the awareness is what gives me hope, because it means that if you can get to the point where you realize, actually, this is not doing me any good, this is stealing joy rather than giving me joy, then it's about then seeking out and searching, connecting with people who can give you the tools to turn that around. So thank you for sharing that lesson. a question has come in from Shay. She says, how did you know what you needed? For example, how did you know, look at me squinting when my glasses are open. How did you know you needed a mentor as opposed to a holiday or therapy or a friend, etc.? We'll come back to that question. Shay's not getting it, Serena. I don't know what you have to say about this, but Shay's not getting it.
No, I'm not singing. Let me just say, when you're going to sing, you prepare, okay?
Right.
I'm suffering from hay fever, my nose, my throat, everything. So you're not hearing it today.
It ain't happening for me. You're free to. You do your thing, Serena. I'll there.
No.
That ain't happening for me.
Not today.
To answer Shay's question.
Yeah. So how did I know I needed a mentor? I think because I was at a point where I wanted to get out of my job, and I think, so I wanted to get out of my job, so I knew I needed some help with that because I was applying for things, I wasn't getting any sort of responses and things. So a holiday wouldn't necessarily, it would have been nice, but it wouldn't have solved that. Also, the lady who I asked to mentor me, I admire her greatly.
Wonderful, amazing woman, amazing. I love Anne.
I love this woman so much. I admire her greatly. She has done some fantastic things. I looked at just her as a person. She's fantastic, but also where she's worked and what she's done. And I was like, I need some of that. Like, I need to rub off on me, And so I kind of timidly said, oh, would you mind mentoring me? And she was like, of course, So I knew, like, if I wanted to get to a certain place, like if I want to, we'll use singing as an example. If I want to be a good singer, it's not just me going and relaxing or talking to a friend. I need to find a good singing coach. Like I need to find somebody that's going to help me specifically with what I need. I knew I needed to change and get out of the job that I needed. And I knew I needed some confidence. And for me, it wasn't just going to be a chat with a friend.
No.
It needed to be something or somebody that I admired, and I could look and think, I want to be like you in terms of have that confidence. I don't want to be you. I'm not trying to be an imitation, like you said, of you. But I want to be like you in terms of being confident and expressing myself and moving forward. And so that's why I thought, you know what, I need someone to mentor me, because I need to sit down with someone. I want someone to check in with me. I want someone to set me homework so that
accountability.
Accountability, And so that's how I knew that. And that's why I think it's important to be in the presence and be around and be associated with good people, with people that you can look up to, with people that you can admire, and like I said, you aspire to be like them in terms of the level of success, the level of confidence, their character, admire people's good traits, and get around those people. There's a saying that I sometimes use excuse me, you can't soar like an eagle if you're hanging around turkeys. So you can be around. So that's how I knew I needed a mentor.
Another question has come in. You can read that one, Serena.
Okay. So it says, new question then. Did you fear not being good enough for your mentor when you saw all of you? Did you think she would validate your original belief that you were not good enough? No. I didn't fear not being good enough, or I didn't think she would validate that because of the person she is, because of, for people that know her, they will know her story. And I knew that she was a safe person for me to be around. So I didn't fear that at all. And that's why I say it's important to pick good people of, a good caliber, but good character as well. And I was at a point where I needed change. So for me, it was like, I'm just going to do this. Like, I need to try something. So if it didn't work out, it didn't work out, but I had to try it. So,
Serena, I want to dig a little bit. I guess, move on a bit. We've talked about why or how you got into that place where you felt like you weren't good enough, or that, you were maybe too much even for some people.
Yeah.
You talk about the journey to undoing all of that. And
Yeah.
I feel like you've done a massive jump from that young girl who was timid, shy, not really wanting to be all of who you are,
Yeah.
to the person now who's been bold enough to start a business, who is raising two beautiful, beautiful children. And I would assume passing on the values that you want about accepting themselves as who they are, and loving themselves, and letting their light shine. I want to know about the process, the journey. Like there's a bit in the middle that I feel that we've maybe just glossed over, but that's the part that I really want to kind of hone in on, because I feel that that's the part that will really educate and inspire perhaps the people who are watching this, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on the replay. I'm always interested in speaking with people who have overcome something. I want to know how. Literally, how did you do it? How did you turn it around, and how did you start this new journey?
Yeah, so as I said before, I'm very self-reflective, and I felt that I think in order to be yourself, you have to know yourself.
Absolutely.
So I took time to get to know myself, to reconnect with Serena.
How did you do that? What does that mean?
So for me, so one of the things, I'm a Christian, so a lot of prayer, a lot of studying and looking at what I felt like the gifts that God had given me. Like I said, getting a mentor was part of that, but also looking at reconnecting with myself in terms of what are my passions, what do I like doing, why do I believe this, what sets my soul on fire. You know, why do I think this way? Why have I got to? I asked myself a lot of questions, and this is over a period of time.
It sounds like, Serena, that inquisitive nature you had when you were younger, going back, and it was a real catalyst, perhaps, in your change.
Reconnecting, looking at myself. I think knowing myself would include looking at my background. My grandmother, who passed away a couple of years ago, she was a real inspiration for me, because she came over. She was the Windrush generation, so she came over, on the boat, and one of those people that helped to like build this country. And she told me a lot of stories about the difficulties that she faced, the racism. And it struck me, and I thought, I need to do better for you. I need to carry on this legacy.
Wow.
So again, that was another thing, like thinking about my culture, my inheritance, what's in me that I need to carry on. So for me, the process was a lot of soul searching, was a lot of asking myself questions and coming up with the answers as well. Like not listening to people's rubbish, and also saying yes to more things, even if I felt I shouldn't do it.
So I want to go back. We're going to come back to the saying yes. So I want to go back. Not listening to people's rubbish. Talk to me about that, please. What's that? Because I don't even hear you talk like that ever. Yeah? That's not Serena to me. But clearly it is. So break that down for me. What do you mean by that? Not listening to people's
okay, so let me think of an example. Okay, so say one example was and a lot of this is in church, because I'm very active in church. So a lot of the examples will be from church. Like I remember like getting to a point where I was okay asking questions again. And of course it will reignite people's thoughts of fundamental stuff.
That's so rude.
But it is. But just like not buying into it that time. Or I remember when they were voting in, because every couple of years we vote in new leaders for new positions, and I was, because I'm a qualified youth worker, I wanted to be teams leader. I was quite happy to do it, but nobody like nominated me. Nobody voted for me. I was like, oh, because like the person who was doing it before didn't want to do it, so they were like, oh, and I was on the committee, and I was like, and then I was like, And I'm not saying this is people's rubbish, but I thought, you know what, Serena, you put yourself forward if you want to do it. And I was like, I don't mind doing it. And then they sort of looked at me because because I'm naturally quiet, and there was a bit of doubt in their eyes. So then there was a little bit of doubt in me, but I just said, yeah, I'm happy to do it. I'll do it. And then I did it for 2 years, and I think I did a good job. You know, when I say not listening to people's rubbish, I think removing myself from associating with people that were negative and not good for me. Like, you can have friends, but you can have friends at a distance. So you don't always have to be closely associated, because you may have family members that are very negative. You can love them from a distance. Like, check in with them, make sure they're okay, but you don't have to spend all that time around them, because you're going to absorb that negativity. So I think my thing was removing myself. And to be honest, it is kind of a lonely process, or it was a lonely process for me, because I spent a lot of time with myself, with myself. But then I was reconnecting with myself, and that was a process. So it was a lot of soul searching, a lot of tears. My husband's a good counselor, because he was like hearing everything, you know, I was talking out everything. And he was excellent, because he would question, like, but I don't think I should do this. I don't think. Well, why do you think that? You know, you're good. Like, he was like pushing back, and always pushing back in a positive way. So then I had to like step up. You know, he's like one of my biggest cheerleaders. You know, and it was always me having to just like feel the fear and do it anyway. Like, put myself forward for things. You know, like, oh, do you want to lead? Who would be willing to lead out? I'm gonna do it, you know. And even though I'm trembling inside and my hands are sweating and stuff, this time not even like closing my eyes, not even looking around to see people's faces. I don't need to see your face. I don't need to know what you think. I'm gonna do this, you know.
Serena, it's funny, Serena, because I think a big part of not listening to the rubbish is also about not listening to people's rubbish that has gotten into our own heads.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we have that negative voice that may be someone else's words, but now we've adopted it, and we're now our voice that's ringing in our ears, someone else's words. Maybe it's what a parent said, or what a brother or a sister said, or a partner said, you know, and these words can be playing. And I think getting to that point where you can maybe drown out the noise and be like, no, I can do it. I think that's also a part of not listening to the rubbish.
Yeah, and like I said, I like to read. So I'll read books that talk about history, that talk about empowerment, that talk about leadership, and it all resonates with me. And I think that's feeding into my character, my confidence, my ability. So even though I get nervous now,
of course,
I just do it anyway.
Like today.
Yes, I was nervous before this, you know, but I just do it anyway. And also, and this is so important, pausing, looking back at your accomplishments, and saying well done to yourself, appreciating what you've done, giving yourself a pat on the back, saying I did that and I did it well. And it's not an arrogant thing, because you know, I'm not an arrogant person. I don't boast. I'm not boastful or anything like that. But I will look over something and I say, I did that, and I did it well, and I'm proud. And next time I'm gonna do it better, you know. And that's the thing. I wasn't celebrating myself at all before, you know. But I was taking time now to do things and to celebrate myself, even if they weren't perfect. I did it, and then you learn something from that, and you do it better. And I think, like I said, it's a process. I'm still on that journey, but the things that I'm doing now, like, you know, even you interviewing me, like, this is the year, I was saying to this is the year of interviews. I've had a couple of interviews. I've never been interviewed before because I was too nervous, because I was thinking people are going to think I'm stupid. People are not going to, why do I even think that? I'm not stupid. But it was those voices, like you said, those voices in your head, like, don't say anything, don't speak up, don't make yourself look like a fool. And it's like, actually, I don't really care now. Just speak. And I think being yourself, being unapologetically yourself is a process of knowing yourself, learning to love yourself, and then just moving in that. And once you learn to love yourself, and you continue, and this is a continuous thing, it's work. It's like if you're in a relationship with somebody else, You don't just say, I love you once and that's it. It's a continuous thing. I'm in a relationship with myself.
That's right.
I'm taking time with myself. And I take that time to feed into myself. And, as a wife, as a mother, as a sister, as a daughter, we're pulled in so many different directions. But I take time for myself.
Yeah.
I have to. And I think those things over time have helped build my confidence and have helped build me up to the point that I'm at.
Yeah.
And like I said, some of the things that I've done just in the last couple of months, I would never have seen myself doing those things before. Never. Me, never.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, okay, what can I do next? Like, what's the next thing for me now?
That's the shift.
What's the next level? Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm so motivated now. But it is a process. And like I said, there's been lots of tears. There's been lots of times I've messed up and said, no, I'm not. I'm just going to be quiet. I'm not, I don't want to embarrass myself.
Yeah.
But there's something inside of me that's stronger than that I feed as well. And then that pushes, like you said, it quietens the voice of doubt. I think the voice of doubt will always be there.
Yeah.
But the voice of strength and confidence is stronger now. And you just you have to keep on feeding it.
So, I love that. I really, really love that. Thank you so much for sharing. We're coming to the end of the show. Okay. All right. So my mum's come in with a question, and she will cuss me afterwards if I don't let her question get read out. So this is the last question, Mum. All right. And then I've got a question for Serena before we get this thing wrapped up. So my mum says, how has growing up in a single parent family affected you?
Wow, that is a big question. It affected me in terms of identity, knowing who I was, because my mum and dad are from different countries. So my mum's from Jamaica, my dad's from Mauritius. So I didn't have any access to that side. So it created like this void where I was like sort of searching, who am I? Not having male presence in the house also affected me, because I think, yes, as women, you need your mum, but it's good to have your dad. It's good to have a man to show you how a man should be. But then it kind of toughened me up as well. I think I learned to just sort of be self-reliant. I didn't have to rely on anyone. I don't know if that's good or bad. I suppose it's good in some ways, but obviously we do need to rely on people in other ways. But it also, I guess, made me seek out, how can I say this? It made me seek out people who could feed into me in a positive way, like positive male influences. And I guess, again, growing up in church, because that's a big part of my life, it made me want to have that male influence in my life to be able to help me to maneuver. And I knew that when I had kids, I wanted to make sure that I had, how can I say this? Because they wouldn't necessarily have granddad around. I needed strong males around just in case. But I have a husband, so that's good. So yeah, it affected me in the sense that I struggled with identity for a little while. However, it also made me stronger, and it made me self-reliant, and it made me think, you know what, I need to make sure I can do things by myself if I need to. So it's kind of twofold.
Thank you so much for answering. Listen, I've got two more questions before we wrap up. I'm mindful that it's been just under 1 hour now, and I know the babies must be wondering, where is mummy? What is going on? If they're still awake, mine are definitely still awake. I even had a fight. I had a fight, and I'm gonna have to go and deal with that afterwards. But Serena, I guess the question that I have for you is, you've shared a lot today. We've covered a lot, and thank you for your transparency. Thank you for your honesty. It is definitely appreciated. The question that I have is, for maybe the person who feels like they don't have time to watch the entire episode, or for the person who maybe they've only just tuned in now and they're only going to catch these last few minutes that we have together. The person maybe who's been on from the beginning, but they've forgotten everything that has been shared today. If you have one single message give to a person who's watching, regardless of where they are in the world, regardless of if they're watching us now live or later on the replay, what is that message that you want this person to take away with them?
I think that I would say to you, I would encourage you to be unapologetically yourself. And to be able to do that, you need to love yourself. Make yourself a priority. Get to know yourself. Immerse yourself in who you are, your culture, your passions, your faith, your beliefs. Take time to love and to know yourself. And that's going to build up such a strong amount of self-worth that it can't help but spill over. So being unapologetically yourself means loving yourself, taking that time out to get to know yourself, building up that strength, that resilience within you, then you're going to be unstoppable. And that's what I would say.
Thank you so much. Oh, Serena, it's been absolutely great talking to you. Like this, not like we don't talk ever, but like this. It's the first time we've done anything like this.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Serena.
Thank you.
Serena, tell us, there's definitely going to be people who are watching this and who are wondering, maybe there's someone who's like, oh my gosh, Serena is speaking my language. This is exactly what it is that I'm going through. Or maybe a niece of mine is going through, or, someone that they're connected to is going through. Tell us about what it is that you're doing right now. How can people connect with you? How can people support what it is you're doing? Let us know.
Okay, so business-wise, Detangled Hair, our main social media platform is Instagram. So Detangled _ hair, I think it is. Or is it hyphen? Oh no.
You know what? I'll put it in the comments afterwards on both platforms.
I always forget whether it's an underscore or a hyphen. But
let me put it in. Oh dear, Serena. I get it. It's the baby brain. When you have kids, the brain don't work as well as
forever. And it's like 24-hour childcare at the moment. So
Oh yeah, this trouble is real. Trust me. It's Detangled _ hair.
Underscore. Thank you. So Detangled _ hair for the business side. So like I said, thank you, Shaky. So yeah, for the business side, my business, self-funded. I'm an entrepreneur. We can sort you. Thank you. We can sort you out with natural hair care products, skincare, also education. Education is key. So the IGTV, there's resources on there. So follow us. Share with your friends. Support. If you have any questions as well about hair care and anything like that, please feel free to send those questions over. If you want to follow me personally and connect with me personally, my Instagram is just my name. So Serena Nwokoye, and that's it. I'm getting better at posting on my personal page. I'm not a big social media person, but what I am big on is connecting with people and supporting people. From the years of youth work and just supporting friends and things like that. So I'm always happy to be able to support and give advice. So yeah, if you want to follow me personally, please do. If you think my platform would be of use to anybody else, please feel free to share. And yeah. Those are the two main places you can find me.
Oh, thank you, Serena. And let me just throw in a quick word on this and about that support element. I've had conversations offline with people, I think including yourself. I'm sure at some point we've touched on it over the years. But especially now when there are so many of us within our community who are doing things, I think it is so important that we support one another and that we cheer for one another and we help each other on the way up. Too many people will wait until you've arrived, Serena.
And then come and be like, hey.
Yeah, until Detangled Hair is like that brown, that's that household name that everyone knows about, and that's when they want to jump on the bandwagon. No, that's not the time. You missed it. It's too late. Then we're good. Then it's important to support on the way up. And you know what? I do my best to practice what I preach. So even just today, I decided I needed some natural hair product. I'm not taking this off. This is staying on. Sorry, ain't happening. But you know, as a result of wanting and needing some products, you know what, I could have easily just gone on Amazon and typed in whatever I was looking and you know, sent the order through and got maybe even a next day delivery. But I said, you know what, no, I have a friend, yeah, not just an acquaintance, not someone that I just have maybe seen or heard. No, I actually have a friend, someone who I call a friend. Her son and I share the same birthday. I have a friend who is in this line of business. How dare I not support? And so I called Serena. I told her what I was looking for. She directed me to her website with a few clicks of a button. I am so happy that my money went over there, right there. You know, and I'm an advocate for this. If you're doing great things, support them. Don't just support them silently or quietly. No one can do it publicly. And please believe that when my products do arrive, I will be putting my pictures up and I will be tangled hair, because it is the tangled hair that's sorting me out. So thank you. Thank you, Serena. Thank you for being my mum is chiming in now. Amen. No, thank you. Really do appreciate it. And another word of thanks as well coming in from Shay. She says, thanks for sharing your spoken voice, Serena. Now for the clean voice, please and thanks. She ain't getting it, you know.
No, not tonight. Not tonight. Maybe another day. Maybe. Okay, Shay, if you follow me, then I'll direct you to somewhere where you can see me sing, okay?
That sounds like a good deal. That sounds like do you know what? Have we got any maybe Olivia will definitely have something like this. Do we have any recordings of Inspired?
I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
Send that to me. Send that to me.
Yeah. I've got recordings.
Oh man.
We were just ahead of our time, I think. We were ahead of our time. But I will
look, Shay says she's already followed. I love that. Love that.
Naomi, can I just say, sorry, I just want to say thank you to you. I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of what you're doing. Yeah, I know we're not really emotional like that,
no,
but,
but
I'm gonna just
a bit awkward.
But I'm just gonna say, yeah, I'm really proud of what you're doing. You know, you inspire me. I know I'm a little bit older than you, but you do inspire me. You know, like I said, every time I have a conversation with you, I end the conversation, I'm like ready to go. Like you've like me. And I just want to say, keep on doing what you're doing, because you're not. It's not just for yourself. You're inspiring other people. I mean, obviously, do it for yourself, build yourself up. But you know, you're just inspiring other people, and you know, I just admonish you, keep on going. You go, girl. All these things, you know.
Thank you. Love you too, Jay.
Well done. Yeah, flowers. If I can give you flowers, I give you flowers. But yeah, I'm just so proud of you and what you're doing. I just really admire you, and just, you know, keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you. And I certainly will. There's no other choice. But you know what it is? It's becoming so acutely aware of my own mortality. Made me just want to hurry up and get everything that's inside out. Because you know what? We don't know. Just the same way how sometimes your thoughts can rob you of your own joy. I think that our fear can rob the world of the most powerful and amazing products, services, books, songs that need to be out there, that are going to be someone's lifeline. But because we are too afraid, or we think we have time, we don't take action as and when we should. And so I experienced a shift during this lockdown as well, that has just made me just want to get out there and do everything. I don't care if there's one person watching or 100 people or 100,000 people watching. It's that I know that I'm on borrowed time. That from the moment we are born, there's a ticker going. I don't know when my time's going to be up, but believe you me, I know what I want to be remembered for. And it's not to be that person who had so much potential but failed to ever launch. That can't be what they say about me when I'm gone.
Never.
She did it. She felt the fear and she did it
anyway.
So thank you, Serena. Thank you. You know what? You were speaking earlier near the beginning of the show, and you shared something that prompted me to look for this poem that I'm sure many people will have heard before, by Marianne Williamson. And I just wanted to share it really to just wrap up. And she says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
Beautiful.
I think that really does sum up exactly what this has all been about. But Serena, thank you. Look, I know we've gone over time today. Apologies.
Sorry.
And thank you everyone for staying with me and staying with Serena as well. We could do, honestly, when we talk, we could talk for ages, forever. So maybe us getting together like this is not the greatest combination, but there's still people watching, and so that means we've still got some people's attention. So thank you all so much for being here with us live. For those of you who are watching on the replay, thank you so much for spending your time with us. If you've heard something in this that you feel someone else could benefit from, please go ahead and share. As simple as sending a link rather, or pressing that share button. There is someone else that needs to hear and be given the permission to shine their light. And be unapologetically and authentically themselves, just like the lesson that Serena shared with us today. So thank you all so much. And I'm looking forward to connecting with everyone again next week, Sunday at the same time, where I have another very special guest, another one of my good friends, and it will be announced real soon. So Serena, once again, thank you. The tangled hair, thank you. And I'm looking forward to connecting with everyone. If you're in the comments, I'm going to jump in the comments later and get involved in there as well. But yeah, thank you. It's been a pleasure, Serena. Hopefully we'll do this again.
Definitely.
Oh, you're most welcome. All right, everyone. That's it for us tonight. Have an amazing evening and enjoy the week ahead. Thank you all so much. And I am looking forward to seeing you all same time next week. Take care, everyone. Bye, Serena. See you. Bye-bye.